Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Hi, everyone. I'm Metro News TV meteorologist Susie Martin. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a series of fronts that will be impacting us, bringing in rounds of storms today, and yet another one arriving for the weekend. So planning on some more active weather. The big concern at this point is the flash flooding risk, because we do have a lot of moisture to work with. So we'll talk about that. But these fronts are also going to keep our warmth in check. So just as temperatures start to warm up, we get hit with a cold front, kind of evening everything out over the course of the coming days. But here's today's setup. We have this area of low pressure that will be tracking a cold front our way, hence generating rounds of thunderstorms. We also have this disturbance along the East Coast, which is going to actually give some oomph to some of those storms. There is a more elevated risk for severe weather for our friends in DC, but some of the storms across eastern and southern West Virginia could be a bit on the strong side. However, the main concern is the flash flooding potential. It's marginal, so not everybody's going to get in on intense rain, but the downpours are very real. We've got a lot of moisture to deal with, so localized flooding cannot be ruled out. Please be mindful of that. We'll keep those thunderstorms in place through tonight, turning scattered in coverage and then beginning to clear out tomorrow for a time before we gear up for the next disturbance, which arrives for our Friday evening. All right, it's time now for a CRW Fly Forecast connecting West Virginia to the world, looking at some of the destinations here. Florida in particular, I'm going to make note, it's been very hot and muggy there, along with pretty active weather, and that looks to be the case still as we go forward. Our temperatures mid to upper 70s across the region with, again, thunderstorm threats for today. Some of our communities getting into the 80s like Moorefield and Petersburg. How about Pineville at 82 degrees? Here's our extended forecast. We mentioned those cold fronts keeping the heat in check, mainly in the 80s and 70s.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Five, three.
Red 57, red 57, hot, hot.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened-to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
It is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline for this Thursday evening. We're inside the Health Plan Studios once again. Good evening. Kyle Wiggs, Greg Hunter, and Brad Howe all together tonight. Good evening, guys.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, boys.
We've got some football talk, of course. The text line is open, 304-TALK-304. We'll hear from a couple of players, including Bubba Grayson.
He was great.
Yeah, he was.
More Bubba. We need more Bubba.
We've got Bubba.
Good.
We'll get Bubba tonight. But it's a big soccer night. So that's where we're going to start. We had Coach Dan Stratford on earlier in the week. The Mountaineer men opening their season. They are ranked, and they are the preseason pick to win the Sun Belt. So they're on the road at Charlotte tonight for a 7 o'clock kickoff. The Mountaineer men at Charlotte. Across town, the WVU women with a huge early season contest. Both teams ranked. The Mountaineers against Penn State, a battle of ranked teams at Dick Delesk Soccer Stadium. And Greg Carey of WVMetroNews.com is with us for a preview of that one. And Greg, good evening to you.
Good evening. How you guys doing?
We're doing well. Set this up. First of all, the weather, it rained all day pretty much in Morgantown, but the last hour or so it seems to have cleared up. So what are the field conditions? What are the weather conditions?
Yeah, there is pretty ideal for now. It doesn't look like it's going to rain during the match. I'm a little hesitant to say that with the summer of weather that we've had, obviously, and really across West Virginia and specifically in North Central. But the further north I got, about an hour and 15 minutes ago, the less it was raining, and it is entirely dry as of this point. There are 55 minutes, give or take, until kickoff. But as you mentioned, it's an important early season match for both teams, a top 25 showdown, and this is a Penn State program that has had West Virginia's number for the better part of the last 6 or 7 years. So I would have to reason to believe that, the Mountaineers are itching to not only make a statement, but, for some of the players that have been around this program for 3 and 4 years, they would like to exact a little bit of revenge against the Penn State team that has had their number of late.
So, Greg, this is only match 2 of the regular season, but for Nikki Izzo-Brown's team this year, how important is this one ultimately?
Yeah, I think it's, one of, if not their most important non-conference game this season. And that the reason being, not only is it home, but, this is a game that you're going to be able to stamp on your postseason resume if you're able to prevail with a victory, because you expect Penn State and to be an NCAA tournament team. West Virginia obviously has a similar expectation, and doesn't mean that the other ones aren't important as well. If you were to win tonight and then kind of stub your toe Sunday against Duquesne, obviously it would cancel a lot of this out. But I do think that this is not only a good measuring stick early in the season, but for both sides, this is a game where you'll look back at it in about 6 to 10 weeks and think, well, if we had done a little more and had this one, our postseason resume would be greatly enhanced. Or for the winning side, if there is one, you're going to be able to say that's one of the better victories and something that should aid in your NCAA tournament seeding when the time comes for that.
Guys, this is a pretty interesting matchup. This is a real outlier in college sports. Okay, here's why. The two head coaches have combined for over 50 years at the schools. Nikki Izzo-Brown 30 plus, and Penn State's coach 20 plus. So you don't get that very often. Greg, you mentioned how these teams have played so frequently over time for a non-conference. It makes a lot of sense. You're playing a regional rival going back almost 2 decades. Also, to Greg's point, 11 of the last 15 meetings, both of these teams have been ranked. So, Greg, you're right. This is a massive game here. Is it too much to say it's a barometer game for this West Virginia team? I know Penn State, as you mentioned, has had their way in this series. Is that going a bit too far to say it's a barometer game?
No, I don't think at all. I mean, like we said, a lot's going to change throughout the season, whether it be injuries and, differences in lineups here and there. But I think for both sides, even if you look at the rankings, they're very similar, with one West Virginia at 22 and Penn State hovering at 23, I believe. So, you have two programs that expect to be in the NCAA tournament. That's become not only the expectation, but it's become basically the norm for them. And they've even met several times in the last decade on that stage. So I think, while Dayton was a very quality first opponent, the reigning Atlantic 10 champion and an NCAA tournament team in its own right last season, I think it goes without saying that this is a game that, West Virginia kind of circles when the schedule comes out. You mentioned the regional rivalry aspect, but just the fact that what you're getting in this Penn State program. Like you mentioned, the coaching, has been a holdover now for multiple decades, just like West Virginia's has, and they've put out a lot of professional players. They've got a lot of all Big Ten quality players, and that's the case again this season. It's a team in Penn State that's only played one match, but they went to Notre Dame, who was number 2 in the country at that time, and they got a 2-2 tie, and it was a game that they probably felt not very good about, just because they led 2-0 and they led 2-1 in the final few minutes of that game before the Fighting Irish got the equalizer.
Greg, as you mentioned, Penn State with that 2-2 draw with number 2 Notre Dame. West Virginia's 1-0. They beat Dayton. That was a scoreless first half. I know you were there, and there was kind of a fire lit coming out in the second half, and West Virginia scored a goal less than a minute into the second half, and then later got a second goal off a corner kick. They beat Dayton 2-0. What style do you anticipate this team playing this year? They've always been very good defensively. They've got a good goalkeeper in Bailey Herforth. So what type of style do you expect this Mountaineer team to kind of base its season upon?
Yeah, I think the defensive-minded style is kind of a preference, because they know that they can fall back on that. West Virginia only allowed 18 goals all of last season, so you're talking about one less than one per match. So it's a team that's always going to feel like if they can defend, they're going to have an opportunity to be right in any match, regardless of the opponent. But I do think that Nikki Izzo-Brown, from talking to her after that Dayton game, and again this week leading up to this one, she wants the team to be a little bit more aggressive. They didn't do a very good job in the first half against Dayton of possessing the ball. They were a little sloppy with it. And frankly, I don't think it's a stretch to say that they got outplayed in that first half. Fortunately, you could tell in the second half over those first 5 or 10 minutes that West Virginia had an entirely different feel to it. It came out more aggressive. It pushed the pace a little bit more. And I thought had a little bit more of an attacking mindset. Then when it went up 2-0, about 20 minutes or so into the second half, they were kind of able to fall back into more of that defensive style where they could keep a little bit more the focus geared toward making sure that their formation stayed correct and that Dayton didn't have any easy opportunities itself. That ultimately leads to a clean sheet. And as we know, that's something that Bailey Herforth has kind of become accustomed to over her 1+ season here. And it's something that, if West Virginia is able to get multiple goals, I sorted through this a little bit last week before the game, 330 victories, 12 losses, and 5 ties in the history of their program when they score more than once.
Say that again. That's a massive number. Do that again, Greg.
That's 330 wins, including the Dayton game, 12 losses, and 5 ties. So you probably like your odds if I say you score twice, you're going to win 95 or 96% of your matches, and you're not losing 98% of them.
Greg Carey with the stat of the month right there. That's a good
His
one.
elementary school teachers would be proud to know he can cipher that well.
Well done.
On that note, let's end it there. Greg, we appreciate your time. No way to top that one. Hopefully it'll be 331, 12-5 after this one tonight. West Virginia home to Penn State. Again, thanks, Greg, and we'll look for your work a little bit later tonight at the website.
Anytime, guys. You guys have a good one.
Greg Carey there, WVMetroNews.com, covering West Virginia and Penn State. And then right after that, after the Penn State game tonight, Mountaineers turn around and play again at home on Sunday in women's soccer against Duquesne. And again, the Mountaineer men on the road, and they've got a long stretch of home games coming up in the non-conference portion of the schedule. If we get to it, Greg referenced Nikki Izzo-Brown meeting the media earlier this week. We've got some comments from her, and perhaps towards the end of the show we'll revisit that, get the coach's thoughts on this very big game against Penn State tonight.
This would be a great one to get, wouldn't it, for her? As they mentioned, they got the Dayton win, but if you can turn around and get this one from the Nittany Lions, that'd be a great start for Nikki Izzo-Brown and company.
Text line open, 304-TALK-304. We're going to go through some comments from WVU players, including Bubba Grayson. You want some Bubba? We've got Bubba for you coming up. And this is the CityNet statewide sports line. We are brought to you by the Health Plan as well. We're inside the Health Plan studios, and the Health Plan studios, they'll be with us for at least one more year, and we certainly appreciate that sponsorship from the Health Plan in the 4th year now, sponsoring programming, including the sports line, and also additional programming on the Metro News Radio Network. We certainly appreciate the Health Plan being with us all the way. Since 1979, the Health Plan has called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric for over 4 decades. They've been here through thick and thin, proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years. The Health Plan.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
It's good to have options for your family or employees. Rooted in your community since 1979, the Health Plan is your trusted partner. Get flexible coverage, exceptional support, and competitive rates.
The Health Plan, we are here for you.
Skin cancer is the most common cancer in the United States, and melanoma is the most treatable when found early. At the WVU Cancer Institute, our experts use advanced screening, leading-edge technology, and personalized care to detect and treat skin cancer early. From routine skin checks to comprehensive cancer care and survivorship, we're here for you every step of the way. Don't wait to get checked. Call 855-WVU-CARE.
This boating season, elevate your family time with Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Proudly family-owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Trusted experts in premium boats, motors, and service. Discover refined comfort, elegant design, and performance you can feel. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of preseason savings. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com because the weekend's almost here.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Football season begins right here on Metro News Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season, the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game, Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by GoMart, only on Metro News Television.
Across West Virginia, connection begins with fast, reliable fiber internet. Connecting overlooked communities to what matters most. Protecting businesses with managed IT and advanced cybersecurity backed by local experts. Perfecting technology experiences while investing in West Virginia's future. CityNet, built and supported by West Virginians, for West Virginia.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. We've discounted over 100 pre-owned vehicles this month, most of which are local one-owner trades. Great deals on all our Toyota trucks, and with over 90 in stock, now is the time to get yours. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for all the support over 23 years. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
CityNet statewide Sportsline for Thursday. Thanks for joining us. We're back in the Health Plan Studios. We're going to get to Bubba Grayson here in a moment, but a couple of other items here. First of all, the news broke yesterday, but I knew about it, just didn't mention it. Of course, you guys were both out. We had obviously the Willie Akers story last night, and then Rich, but Evans Barning Jr. leaving the Mountaineer basketball program and taking a step down to the JUCO level, going somewhere where he can play.
Yeah, really, really nice kid. I liked Evans a lot and has some athleticism, guys. It was just a matter of last year just coming in as a true freshman, couldn't break through the lineup. This year, obviously, with the talent that's stacked on that roster, it was going to be another season of not getting many minutes. So as we talked so often, what's the best thing for Evans Barning? Go play and get some reps. That's a dude that's 6'7" and has that athleticism and has a chance to be able to pop back up somewhere and play. So it's an opportunity for him to go get some minutes.
Yeah, Navarro, which is a good program, and he'll go down there. And again, in today's world of no red shirts, doesn't matter if he's at a JUCO level and getting a lot of minutes or sitting on a bench somewhere. This is an opportunity to go play, and the impact on his eligibility is the same.
Mm-hmm. Also, a quick text question. Playing
real quick, I'm sorry, a little tie in there. Johnny Estelle, of course, is in the Hall of Fame at Navarro College, former Navarro head coach.
Text question, playing off one of the three guys over-under games that you played recently. The carries for Cam Cook. So what was the over-under set at?
Yeah, so this was it. We'll just do it real quick here. You can go back and listen to the latest three guys if you want some more information. But we've talked so much, Greg, about Cam Cook last year with the 295 carries, nearly 300 carries on the season. Would have been second all-time if that had been a West Virginia player that had done that. You go back and you start to dive into the numbers, and it's really interesting how often Rich's running backs or a quarterback, but his ball carriers, his leading rusher, in the first 2 years he's at a program, that's generally where these big rushing seasons come from a player. What year is Rich going into? Version 2.
Yeah.
Second year, version 2. You've got a running back that's durable, that's done it. You've got Rich in a system that likes to use a player when it's working, we know. And so we set the number. The number was really high. I'll give you one other number here. The average number of carries for the leading rusher on a Rich Rodriguez team, and I didn't use Glenville, Coach Hunter, but I did do West Virginia.
Jed Drenning wasn't part of this.
I did not do that.
Okay.
Did West Virginia round 1, then Michigan, then Arizona, then Jack State, and then last year. Okay, so 20 seasons as a head coach. The average for the leading rusher is 207 carries.
Wow.
Which is pretty big number.
That is a very big number.
Only once in those 20 seasons, I'm giving you more than I said I would, Kyle, sorry.
That's all right.
The one time in the 20 seasons has the leading ball carrier not got to 100 carries last season. We knew that watching it last year, but we knew what an outlier season it was. That really backs that up. So 207 is the average over his time. He's had 3 seasons where a ball carrier has gone over 300 carries. So we set the number at 262.5, a massive number.
That's a big number.
That's a big number. Last night at our event, we revised the number and put it at 242.5, just to see if we'd get some different answers. So that's what we talked about in the latest 3 guys.
So I assume you took the over?
I did not.
You didn't? Okay, well, let me get to the text question.
What's the
I'm sorry. I thought that was the text question.
Well, the texter says, I was wondering if you have questions with the passing game this year, because I agree, if Cam has over 20 carries per game, we've got issues, and that's part one. The second part was which quarterback has the strongest arm.
Yeah, so I took the under, and it was not a reflection on Cam Cook. It was actually a reflection on, I think there's more options than just Cam Cook. So 262 is a giant number, I realize. I think Hawkins is going to be able to get a bunch of carries and run it. We've talked about Latimer so much, and I do think they're going to be able to throw the ball successfully, even though we know he's going to run it more than throw it. But I thought there were enough other options that you wouldn't see an early Rich Avon Coburn type of couple of seasons when you had to rack up nearly 300 carries.
Okay,
that was my justification.
So you took the under, and this texter was hoping whoever took the over didn't think it was because the passing game was going to struggle.
Yeah, I actually think all 3 of us took the under on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
that's why I revised the number, Coach Hunter. The book had to move the number there because everybody was on one side of it.
So give me just the overall view of which quarterback, and you can actually go beyond the first 2, but who has the strongest arm? Just strongest, not necessarily best passer.
I mean, Hawkins can throw it downfield, but I mean, the ball comes out of Scotty Fox's hand tremendously well. I remember, guys, we talked about that last year. I thought that very first day of practice last year, when all of those quarterbacks were lined up, like you looked at Fox and went, that dude throws it different.
Yeah.
You know who has a cannon though? Max Brown can wing it as well. But I would give me Fox.
Okay. All right, Bubba Grayson. We talk about Cam Cook. Bubba Grayson out front blocking, which is a good thing. We saw that last year at Jacksonville State. So what did Bubba have to say? First of all, he talked about getting used to coming from the South, getting used to being at West Virginia, in West Virginia.
The biggest thing that I've had to adapt to is probably the weather. I'm from the South, so it don't get cold down there. And the first week I was here, it was a snowstorm, so I kind of had to get used to it. But overall, the people, I love the people. Everybody's nice and welcoming, and the coaches, it just felt like family because they were at Jack State with me my freshman year.
Is there a good story to the Bubba nickname? You got a backstory to it?
Yes. So actually, my little sister gave me that name. We're 11 months apart. So she couldn't say brother, so she'll call me Bubba. And then my parents were just like, yeah, your nickname's Bubba. And I was like, all right, cool.
When you were little,
yes.
You've been Bubba your whole life pretty much.
Yes, sir. I didn't like it at first. Like elementary, I was like, no, don't call me that. And then it just grew on me over time.
Well, he's grown into it.
Yeah, you can't be a little guy and be a Bubba, right? You
right.
can't be 165. There's no way.
At 300 plus,
Yeah.
he's grown into
Bubba.
it.
He's fun.
So it works, right? It works perfectly for Bubba Grayson. Coach Rick Trickett, how about what he does, his scheme, and learning it last year, bringing it with him from Jacksonville State to West Virginia?
No, it's pretty much the same thing. Coach Trickett does a great job keeping us doing the same stuff over and over again. Consistency wins a lot of things, and I've came in and adapted great to this scheme, taking it. I was in it my freshman year, so it's not really much a big change.
He's demanding, let's put it that way, with Coach Trickett. So You followed him, though, so you must not mind it. What's that like, playing for him?
Honestly, playing for Trickett has been probably my best decision. He's a leader of men besides being a coach, and that's what I love about him. He really cares about you as a player, and he tries to put you through hard things. So when you get out in the real world, you can go out and just be yourself, and you won't go through anything harder. I swear.
So testing the metal, that's all part of the process.
Eyes wide open. And, Greg, we've talked about him before. I think that's the best sign if you want to know how good Bubba Grayson can be is the fact that Trickett wanted him here and knows what he can do. And he's the guy out at practice, guys. He's the one that Rick Trickett is saying to the other linemen, watch Bubba Grayson. Like when he fires off, Greg, there's not a, here's how I want you to do it. Here's how you have to. Like he just says, watch Bubba Grayson. Bubba fires off and hits you right square in the mouth. Like he'll hit you.
More with Bubba on Coach Trickett. What are they? Coach OT? That's what they call him?
Coach OT.
Old Trick.
Yeah, Coach OT. What is the best advice he's received from Coach OT?
Basically being consistent, knowing that, hey, if I take my first step in hat placement, I'm going to get to where I need to be every time. And that has really helped me as an offensive lineman because in high school, that was my biggest thing. I couldn't stay, like, consistent with one thing. It was, like, something different every time. So he really harped on that. And then, you know, when you don't get it correct, you know, we got guys that go and work on it. So that's the biggest thing that I love about how he coaches.
So advice on and off the field. Consistency is a big one
Well,
in everything in life.
Right. Well, weren't we just going to say that? Everything in life, but certainly sports. And, Greg, you can speak to this better. Really on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of the magic, right? Everybody wants to know what the magic is. That's the magic. Getting those guys to do the same thing time after time after time.
And, I mean, it seems so over the top, but, I mean, you're talking about millimeters and inches in terms of your first step and exactly where it has to go, your hand placement, everything like that. But when you're consistent with it, you have a chance. If you're off by an inch on that first step, it just throws everything off, timing everywhere. So that's where that consistency aspect comes. It's not just effort. They're going to give effort, but it's doing the exact same thing, and it's so easy just to falter a bit.
Fundamentals and consistency. Blocking for Cam Cook. What a pleasure that was last year for Bubba Grayson, and he'll have the pleasure of doing it again this year, both wearing the flying WV.
Cook is great. Like, when I make my mistake, he'll make me right. So that's what I love about him. And then, like, I know when I'm pass protecting, if he's in the backfield, he's going to make the block. Like, no doubt about it. He's an overall team player, and that's what I love about him.
So thoughts on Cam Cook? They're back together again, this time for West Virginia.
As we've said, that was a successful group, right? Adding Cam Griffin in there with Bubba Grayson and Cam Cook and Rick Trickett. If you can reprise some of that. Greg, this is, I realize the level's different and the quality of defenses and talent you're going against is a different deal. But if you just took PFF's grade for Bubba Grayson last year, would have been the best run grade for West Virginia last season. So you've got a productive dude. Size-wise, though, it's a little bit different. He's not as tall as the normal lineman you see in this league. Now, again, he'll hit you right in the face. Any concerns there about height?
No, especially where he's playing inside. Yeah, I mean, if he were a tackle, maybe a little bit at this level, but inside, no. But that's I'm certain that's why in the recruiting annals he was a group of 5 recruit rather than a Power 5 recruit because he is, 6'2" type guy.
Yeah.
Very thick, very strong, very explosive, but isn't certainly a classic height guy for an edge guy. But he's where he is. He's fine.
Well,
at this
it's
level.
just interesting. Your other side is 6'6" Nick Craig on the so you do have size inside on the other side.
But your tackles are massive.
Yeah, your tackles are 6'5", 6'6", between Karsten and Kevin Brown. So you've got that length that you want. In most places you do, but your center in West King isn't necessarily long either. But again, inside guys you can get away with. And it's not necessarily height, it's arm length that'll get you at those in the offensive line positions. But again, interior linemen you can get away with.
What about the thoughts of Bubba Grayson on freshman Kevin Brown?
Kevin Brown is definitely a team player, and he's hard-nosed. That's what I love about him. And he brings that energy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love him to death. That's my guy right there.
freshman year, right? But not the very beginning, correct?
No.
Okay. Would you have been able to start in the first couple of weeks, or did you need a few games to get your feet wet and be more comfortable, more confident?
Honestly, I just needed more time. You know, I was a freshman, so in the first couple of games that we had, they were big opponents. So Trickett has his thing where it's like, hey, like, I'm going to test the waters out with you, and then after that, like, I'm going to let you loose. In my first start, I mean, my eyes got big when I came to the sideline, but I adjusted to it for the rest of the season.
So 8 starts as a freshman for Bubba Grayson. Of course, started every game last year at Jacksonville State.
He's a man, and then once he got that starting job, he was off and going right there. First of all, great smile. I love it when guys come to the podium and they're smiling and have fun. He sounds like a future coach, doesn't he? Like if you said defensive line coach Bubba Grayson takes the podium now,
yeah,
that would make some sense. Or offensive line coach.
Classic offensive lineman in terms of how often we say the smartest guys in the room. Bubba Grayson fits that mold exactly. And again, experienced, smart, physically imposing in terms of his girth. I mean, he's a nice package. And again, I hate to talk about eligibility, but he's only played 2 years of college football to this point. So he's got 3 years left. You love to see those at West Virginia because he's going to be a significant factor this year and hopefully for a couple years beyond.
One more with Bubba Grayson, and part of the plan, Rick Trickett moving guys around and during practice. And Bubba Grayson talked about the thought process behind that.
Me as a guard, sometimes you can do things that can hang out your tackle to dry. So, you know, one practice he put me at tackle and he put my tackle at guard. And it was just doing your checks and balances. Hey, how can I help this guy when I get back at tackle? So that's the biggest thing with that. It's really not
right away, he said, "Oh, I see that. I see why he's doing that."
Oh, yes, for
Makes
sure.
sense, yeah.
Yeah, then I've been with him for a while, so it's like the same stuff I've been hearing over and over again.
You've been with him for a while.
So basically, Greg, what he's saying there, he don't look for him to play tackle.
Yeah.
He was doing it to prove a point and show it, but it's not like Bubba's going to move out and play tackle.
No, not at this level, though it is interesting. He played all offensive line positions at Jack State, even at 6'1", 6'2". They'd move him to tackle on occasion. It tells you how versatile he is. But I think at this level, and with the size that West Virginia already has out there, his perfect spot is guard.
Bubba Grayson, welcome to West Virginia.
Yep.
Anxious to see him and the rest of the Mountaineers.
The only negative on him, can I give you a negative for Bubba?
I want to hear this because I haven't found one yet.
So we had him out at one of our events this fall at BW3, a 3-guys event. And first of all, awesome, right? Give him the mic. It was tremendous. So great to have him. He entered the wing eating contest. Now, he talked a little bit beforehand, but it's a big offensive lineman, right? He can put away some wings.
You would think.
Anna Barr from volleyball lined up, told him that she was going to beat him, and then out-ate him with the wings.
Wow.
So Bubba's got to step up his game. I think that's more
that is
not
a disappointment.
Not a reflection on Bubba as much as it was Anna Barr's got a little bit of stuff to her. She got after it. Talked her game, then lined up and beat him. Pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
So that's the only negative I got on Bubba Grayson.
All right. Well, we'll let that one slide. I think we can look past that one. 304 Talk 304. We'll check the text line. We've got some thoughts from WVU defensive back Nick Taylor when we return. We're inside the Health Plan Studios. This is the CityNet statewide sports line for this Thursday.
Answering a text or phone call while driving seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
It's good to have options for your family or employees. Rooted in your community since 1979, the Health Plan is your trusted partner. Get flexible coverage, exceptional support, and competitive rates.
The Health Plan, we are here for you.
It's the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon this Thursday and Friday, raising money to support the incredible care provided by WVU Medicine Golisano Children's. From life-saving treatments to the little comforts that help make a child's stay a little easier. Your donation helps keep those programs going. Now, you can text the word WVU Kids to 34984 for a link to donate via credit or debit, PayPal, Apple Pay, or Venmo. It's the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon supporting WVU Medicine Golisano Children's this Thursday and Friday.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Hi, everyone. I'm Metro News TV meteorologist Susie Martin. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a series of fronts that will be impacting us, bringing in rounds of storms today, and yet another one arriving for the weekend. So planning on some more active weather. The big concern at this point is the flash flooding risk, because we do have a lot of moisture to work with. So we'll talk about that. But these fronts are also going to keep our warmth in check. So just as temperatures start to warm up, we get hit with a cold front, kind of evening everything out over the course of the coming days. But here's today's setup. We have this area of low pressure that will be tracking a cold front our way, hence generating rounds of thunderstorms. We also have this disturbance along the east coast, which is going to actually give some oomph to some of those storms. There is a more elevated risk for severe weather for our friends in DC, but some of the storms across eastern and southern West Virginia could be a bit on the strong side. However, the main concern is the flash flooding potential. It's marginal, so not everybody's going to get in on intense rain, but the downpours are very real. We've got a lot of moisture to deal with, so localized flooding cannot be ruled out. Please be mindful of that. We'll keep those thunderstorms in place through tonight, turning scattered in coverage and then beginning to clear out tomorrow for a time before we gear up for the next disturbance, which arrives for our Friday evening. All right, it's time now for a CRW fly forecast connecting West Virginia to the world, looking at some of the destinations here. Florida in particular, I'm going to make note, it's been very hot and muggy there, along with pretty active weather, and that looks to be the case still as we go forward. Our temperatures mid to upper 70s across the region with, again, thunderstorm threats for today. Some of our communities getting into the 80s like Moorfield and Petersburg. How about Pineville at 82 degrees? Here's our extended forecast. We mentioned those cold fronts keeping the heat in check, mainly in the 80s and 70s.
CityNet statewide sports line Thursday night. Thanks for joining us, Kyle, Greg, and Brad. 304 Talk 304. We will get to the texts here in a moment. We heard from a projected starter on the offensive side, Bubba Grayson. How about cornerback Nick Taylor on the defensive side? And he's guys moved around a bit. Started at corner, went to safety. Now he's moved back to corner and has moved up the depth chart. And he was asked about that.
It's been good. You know, when I came in here, I was a corner, so it was an easy movement. And coming from safety last year, it was a good adjustment because I know everything. And it was just they felt like I was better at corner this year.
Are there some things that you figured out when you were at safety that now you can use at corner that benefit you?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know where the safety is at all the time. And, yeah, it's just once you know everybody's job, it's much easier.
So, look, cornerback size there, right? About 6'1", 6'2", and close to 200 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, he's got really good size for a corner, or a typical corner, and was a nice corner at Appalachia State a couple years ago. Played and started a bunch of games as a true freshman for that version of the Mountaineers, and then came here, and because of need, they moved him over and played him at safety a good bit. And more as the season went, but now they're moving him back to corner. And obviously, he's very much in the mix. I still haven't figured out what that rotation is going to be like at cornerback, to be honest. But Nick Taylor is very much in that mix.
Oh, he's right there. Yeah, Chomps Giants, another one that's right in there. But Jason Chambers coming back in, we're interested to see what they mix in. But I think that's the first three names you're watching there at the cornerback position.
Nick Taylor, best game last year, certainly the Utah game, 8 tackles, which led West Virginia in that contest, and also had his first interception. What was that like?
It was amazing. One of my childhood dreams, be on the big stage and get a pick. You know, hopefully I get some more this year.
What have you thought of Shams so far?
Shams, that's my dog. We known each other for a long time. Very big corner, very physical corner. Yeah, he's gonna be good this year.
So perhaps Taylor and Gine there, certainly two guys that are in the mix.
Yeah, I do. I think it's those top three there. And Chambers' question is just going to be how quickly he can get back up to football speed and get ready to go. But I think, Greg, you start there with those three guys and then start working in based on their performance here early.
Yeah, and Gines and Taylor both from the same part of Atlanta, so they've known each other since their high school days.
Yeah, was that an old school Atlanta Hawks tattoo on his arm? I kept looking at that.
Notice,
like,
is that
in honor of Pac-Man? Was that a Pac-Man logo or the Atlanta Hawks? I think it was the Atlanta Hawks logo on
Pay
there.
more attention. I don't notice tats.
Well, you don't see that very often.
No.
The Atlanta Hawks, the Pac-Man looking logo on there, the old school one. So I think that's what it was.
What about moving up levels from Appalachian State? Again, Nick Taylor.
I think the just people being bigger, the size difference, and yeah, so.
What does this defense do well right now, in your opinion?
We cover really good. We stop the run really good. We got good leaders. There's a leader in every position group almost. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not hard to just gel when everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, the summertime preseason camp, that's the time for the leaders to emerge.
Absolutely. And certainly, on this defense, you have so few returnees. You need those guys that are back to be leaders. And he's one of those. He's not an incredibly vocal guy, but as you can tell, smart kid, and certainly is at a position where there's so few. I mean, there are two defensive backs, not just corners, but defensive backs who are played on the game last year. So he's got to be one.
And one more from Nick Taylor. Obviously, the priorities for the coaching staff to rebuild this cornerback position: strength, better size, better reach, getting to 50-50 balls better, and Nick Taylor addressed that.
From last year to this year, just really technique, guarding faster guys. I'm a kind of a big guy, 6'1", 190, but it just really technique, and yes, sir.
Your hands in the frame. Think about this in terms of basketball guards that are good defensively, that get their hands in where people are dribbling and holding. Is that part of the important thing for you, getting your hands in their catch radius?
It definitely is. Just being a longer guy, that's mainly what you want to do. You got those advantages over a shorter guy, being able to hit balls that they can't hit or pick off balls that they couldn't get. Yes, sir.
Nick Taylor there in the mix at the cornerback position on the West Virginia defense.
We keep talking about the size of these corners, Greg. Maybe it's time to return the favor. We've seen so many times over the years when opposing defensive backs get up on West Virginia and hold you and jam you at the line and you can't get off, right? During our coverage, Kyle, how many times did we reference that you just couldn't get anybody open? Maybe it's about time to flip that, and West Virginia can do a little pressing and holding and grabbing right there. You still owe Oklahoma State about 19,000 holds in a game, just to name one opponent.
Well, they're coming to town.
I know.
So, get after it a little bit. 304 Talk 304, another question about the quarterbacks. Texter says, I like Fox. I think his ceiling is higher. I would rather have him win the job so he'll come back next year. Well, again, I think you'll see them both play. But as you've talked many, many times, you bring a guy into the system that fits the system a little bit better.
Yeah, that's right. And listen, I think you are in a great situation. If injury pops up or if Hawkins struggles early, you've got a guy in Scotty Fox you can win with. That's why they made it a priority to bring him back this offseason. They are comfortable. They know what he can do. He has grown a lot. But I don't think it's any secret Michael Hawkins' skill set fits what Rich wants in a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're exactly right. And we'll see. The interesting one, though, when you're starting to talk quarterbacks is Rich has started to sprinkle in a bit of Jaron Hughley.
Oh, would you stop?
And all of a sudden now it's like, hey, he's doing unprompted. And it's like, what's that mean? I mean, and I'm not saying he's your number two by any stretch, but is that a kid that you try to play on occasion this season? I could see that.
You're doing it again.
I am.
You're doing it again.
I don't
You're
care.
like, nobody talks about the future better than football coaches specifically, right? They love to talk about those guys. You're right, Greg. They are talking about Hughley on the back end, but as you mentioned, or as Rich mentioned before, having a package of plays, yeah, they probably do, but that's got to be a unique situation. If Hawkins is rolling, Hawkins is going to go. If Scotty Fox is in and is dealing, Scotty Fox is going to go.
Texter says if Cam has a ton of carries, does that mean we're gashing people? Well, yeah.
Probably.
Him and the quarterback.
Yeah, I do just think I think there's enough other options there that it doesn't have to be a 300 carry Cam Cook season.
That would be my thought too. I mean, considering he's healthy and everything else, they can divide up those carries where they don't just have to ride him into the dirt.
Yeah.
Texter says, I'm 5'8", 170. My grandpa's called me Bubba since I was a baby. All right, point taken. Real quick, a basketball situation with Barning. With Barning going JC, will that open up a spot for Eagle staff to come back?
It will not, unfortunately, and I've said many times I would love to have Trey come back, but they have added another player to the roster out of the Bella Vista Prep Academy, so the roster spots are still taken. It's just a swap. Evans on the way out, another player on the way in, and really, guys, it comes down to a couple things. Payroll, number one, for Trey, and then just number two, at some point you got to have a rotation here. You're not going to have 11 guys that rotate in, and West Virginia felt pretty good about its backcourt situation. It was the front court and specifically at that 4 where you felt like you could get some help in adding back in a Brendan Lorient.
I don't remember any Mountaineer team ever having more players from one program than Bella Vista Prep in this basketball team.
Well, it's one of the best. They won the national championship, so bring them on. And possibly more to come, right? 5-star Paul Osiora there is obviously West Virginia's top of the list there right now.
Yep.
More text to come. We'll talk a little bit more about the big women's soccer game tonight as well, West Virginia against Penn State. When we return to the Health Plan Studios, CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet probably right at your front door. Now's the perfect time to connect. Local customer support you can trust. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. High-speed fiber internet is probably at your front door, and now's the time to connect. Your tax dollars helped expand broadband access across West Virginia, and CityNet makes it real. More rural communities in West Virginia can finally get the high-speed internet they deserve. With free equipment, free installation, no contract, and local support you can trust. So whether you're streaming, working, gaming, or running your business, CityNet delivers the speed and reliability you need. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
When was the last time you checked your home's fire safety? From working smoke alarms and clear escape routes to safe heating in the winter, small checks make a big difference. The West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office has launched a quick, easy home safety survey to help you spot simple fixes around your house before emergency strikes. Take just 5 minutes today to keep your family safe. Visit firemarshal.wv.gov to complete your home safety survey. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. Thank you for 23 years, Dan Caba, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably Mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Sitting at Statewide Sportsline, welcome back. We're inside the Health Plan Studios. More text coming up in a bit. We talked right at the top of the show about the nationally ranked WVU women's soccer team, 22nd, hosting number 23 Penn State tonight, and that match will get underway in under 10 minutes here. And we'll have coverage. We'll have post-match coverage at WVMetroNews.com. Nikki Izzo-Brown speaking to the media. Talked about this matchup, obviously very important, but another important game coming up on Sunday. So it is Penn State tonight, Duquesne on Sunday.
Yeah, we're excited to be home. Penn State obviously has been a big rival for us for years. We have tons of respect for them, and obviously both of us being nationally ranked will be a huge game for us Thursday, and then to turn around and play against a tough Duquesne. It's going to be an exciting first Sunday matchup for us, but we're excited to have that Thursday-Sunday matchup with both great opponents.
Yeah, great opportunity to see this nationally ranked women's team early in the season. Penn State tonight, Duquesne on Sunday. As Greg Carey pointed out at the top of the show, it's been a while since West Virginia beat Penn State. 2017 was the last time the Mountaineers beat the Nittany Lions in women's soccer. What about this Penn State team specifically makes it difficult?
You look at year in and year out, their recruiting. They have extremely talented players. Obviously, their coaching staff is very experienced. So I think between them being tactically sound and talented, obviously it's a very hard opponent for us, and we respect that. So I would probably say it's a combination of both of how organized and effective their staff is, but also the talent they bring in.
And one more. Each of these teams have played a game so far. Mountaineers beat Dayton 2-0, 2 second-half goals in their opener last week. Penn State, a 2-2 draw with number 2 Notre Dame. So how would Coach Izzo-Brown evaluate how her team played in its opener?
I say this to the team all the time. You have so many emotions flying, and it's just really important to watch video because sometimes it's not as bad as you thought or as good as you thought. So after that, Ryan, I would probably say first half we just weren't taking care of the ball as well and giving each other options. And I think that was some individual breakdowns. And then I know the captains, spoke to this in a team meeting that they want to be able to make adjustments before halftime where the staff has to. So I think, all in all, I was pleased with the way we played. I think we're always on the hunt of consistency in a 90-minute game. So going into Penn State, that's what we have to be.
Mountaineer women against Penn State tonight, Dick Delesk Soccer Stadium. The baseball schedule's out, guys, for the Big 12, which leads to the question, how does the baseball schedule come out before the basketball schedules?
That is a good point.
Good point. I guess
I don't have a good answer, but that's a good point.
No, very good point. But West Virginia has found out 10 series in Big 12 play, 5 at home, 5 on the road, and gosh, it seems to start early, mid-March.
This is why a couple things jumped out to me, guys, real quick. So you get Kansas and Arizona State at home. That's good. Those are both pretty early. But how about this swing? You're home to Cincinnati, April 29th through May 2nd. Then you head out to Arizona May 6th and 9th, and then you were at BYU April 22nd, then home to Cincinnati, then out to Arizona. That's a heck of a 3-week swing right there. Now, here's the other one. You close out the Big 12 season on the road at TCU and then have to fly almost immediately to Arizona for the Big 12 tournament. So I broke this down. You ready for this? Out of the 5 regular season road trips and then the conference tournament, so 6 road trips there, you will have 2 trips to the Pacific time zone, 2 to the Central time zone, 1 to the Mountain time zone, and only 1 to the Eastern time zone. Isn't that wild? Just shows again, as we know, how spread out this conference is, and when you've added in those Western teams, so you've got an Arizona swing and a Utah swing with BYU.
So the conference opener is on the road at Houston, which is normal. They usually put the Mountaineers on the road for the first series, waiting for the weather to improve. At Houston first, starting March 19th. The home series, the Big 12 series opener of Kansas, March 25th. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's Easter weekend. Then a trip to Orlando, back-to-back home series with Arizona State starting April 9th, and Baylor April 16th. You mentioned the trip to BYU, West Virginia headed back out there again, home to Cincinnati, Arizona, at Arizona, Oklahoma State in Morgantown starting May 14th, and then the final series of the year at TCU. So that's your Big 12 baseball schedule.
Be here before we know it. Haven't even started football yet, but here we are on the baseball schedule.
Yeah, and again, we don't have the basketball schedule yet, but we can talk about the Big 12 baseball schedule. Let's see. 304 Talk 304, time for text tonight. Texter says, yeah, no love for the men's soccer team. We mentioned it earlier in the program, but we had Strats on this week.
Yeah, when did we have him? Last night? Tuesday?
No.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we had him talking about the season opener at Charlotte, and that's where the Mountaineer men are tonight. Texter asks, who's the new Bella Vista Mountaineer? You have a name? Can you give it?
Give it to you tomorrow.
Okay. Well, it's good tease. Come back tomorrow.
Music's on.
Yeah, the music's on. Also, Texter says, is Rich checking the NFL waiver wire for possible recruits?
It seems like
Today's
everybody
world.
is.
It's crazy.
A bunch of NFL guys claiming they're back in college. We'll get into that tomorrow as well, Kyle.
All right. Good show tonight. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your participation. Thanks to the Health Plan once again for being our sponsor along with CityNet. From the Health Plan Studios, this is the CityNet Statewide Sports Line. We're back tomorrow.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sports Line is an exclusive production of the Metro News Radio Network. All rights reserved.